What's up guys, DoubleDragon here with more guides from the PTR. This time we've got Horridon, who I believe is the second boss in the Zandalari, the first LFR that you do. The first boss currently does not have any information on it. I'll show you it real quick. Jinrock the Breaker, no, nothing, coming soon. So, here we go. I'm pretty sure this is the entire strat, and basically the boss is going to put some debuffs in your tank, which will require a tank swap. So that's pretty simple. I'm pretty sure that happens every minute in 50 seconds. I think that's what it's saying. So I don't know. I guess it's like every so often. Anyway, double swipe. He will charge towards a player and do 200,000 damage. 35-yard cone in front of them. So that happens in conjunction with charge. So he'll charge a random DPS or a healer, then he'll swing his head from side to side, so I guess you just have to get away from it. So literally that's like all this boss does, right? He has no other abilities. That's the limits of what he does. But he summons adds. It's in like 4 or 5 waves, I can't really remember. But first wave is the Faraki, and he's going to summon some little alligator things that will stun you for 2 seconds, and that's all they do. Then you got some skirmishers. I guess they just do like a lot of melee damage because they don't have any other abilities. Waste walkers will do a kind of a damage and then a dot, I believe, and that is a magic effect, so it's probably dispellable. Sand trap is essentially a void zone, so you just got to move out of it. So that's I assume that's like the first phase, right? You got the boss charging random players, doing a tank swap debuff, and then he's got some adds that will stun you for 2 seconds. Have a magic dot that you got to dispel and heal through, and also get out of the void zone. So the next set of adds, I assume this is technically phase 2, will be the Gurubashi tribe, and they will summon some blood lords, and I'm pretty sure this is how it goes. So you'll summon the adds, then you got to attack a door, because it says pour from the Gurubashi tribal door until it is destroyed. It is destroyed, not they are destroyed, it is destroyed. So maybe they're talking about the ad. Maybe it refers to the ad, or maybe it refers to the door. I can't be sure. Anyway, the Bloodlords do a charge. They'll make you bleed. Nothing you can do about that. Venom Priests. Total of 3 Gurubashi Venom Priests will jump from the arena stands once the Gurubashi are called to action. They do a Venom Bolt Volley, which is dispellable, I assume. Poison effect. Unleashes a spray of wild toxins that inflicts 20,000 H damage to all enemies instantly. All enemies. Doesn't say in a cone, doesn't say a range. All enemies. And 10,000 H damage every 3 seconds for 1 minute. Stacks as well. So I assume that means it's going to hit all of your players, and you've got to dispel all of them. That's going to be a bit difficult. Venom Priest can summon a Venomous Infusion. So okay, so these adds, the Venom Priest will summon an add that will also do Venom Bolt Volleys. So you're going to be contending with a stacking shit attack that's going to be eating up your raid. When a Venomous Infusion is created, a pool of living poison forms. Okay, so it's a void zone. Alright, it's just a poison void zone, and you got to move out of it. So essentially, phase 2, you got to still move from the boss's charging abilities and tank swaps, and you have to deal with the bleed effects and this Venom Bolt Volley, which is going to be the main problem for this phase, and you get out of the void zones. So third phase, the Jakari, a risen Jakari warrior. So if you had done the Wrath of the Lich King dungeon, what is it? It's like the Zuldrak dungeon, the Draktharen Keep. These are essentially the same. Alright, so uncontrolled abominations, animated the last remnants of the Jakari tribe left behind, blah blah blah. Okay, so it's going to be like a fixated target, I guess. Alright, so disease effect, you just got to dispel that, and that is going to be cast by the Risen Jakari. So they're going to fixate, and they're going to cast a disease. And okay, so it's essentially the same thing. I don't know why there's 2 of that. Champion, so I guess they're just doing more damage. I guess that's all it is. Yep, alright. Jakari Frozen Warlord. A total of 3 Jakari Frozen Warlords will jump down from the arena stands once the Jakari are called to action. Mortal Strike. Powerful blow inflicts 200% weapon damage and leaves the player wounded. Okay, so you know what Mortal Strike does. It's just the warrior ability. You just gotta heal through it, I guess. 8 seconds. Frozen Orb. Summons an orb of frozen power that shoots a bolt of frost at a nearby enemy target every 0.50 seconds, inflicting 100,000 frost damage and slowing movement speed. So this is essentially like a void zone, okay? Except it's in the air, I believe. I think that's all there is to it. So when it hits you, it's going to slow you down and deal quite a bit of damage, so just move away from that. Phase 4, the Amani. So, Amani Protectors, they don't do anything. Flamecasters, once called to action, Flamecasters are poor. Hurls a ball of fire at a random player, inflicting 50,000. Interruptible, okay, so you got interrupts here on the Flamecasters. Warbears, total of 3 Warbears will come down. Swipe, inflicting 50,000 in a 5-yard cone. So when the Warbears come up, you just got to not stack with each other. You got to interrupt, not stack with each other. Beast Shamans, ride atop powerful Amani Warbears and can be attacked once the Warbear has fallen. Okay, so you got to attack the Warbears, and then once they're dead, the Beast Shamans will appear. Then they'll start casting a Chain Lightning, and you know how Chain Lightning works. Interruptible, once again, you got Chain Lightning, you've also got Fireballs that are interrupts. So this is going to be the interrupt phase. Hex or Confusion. Hexes a player for 30 seconds, giving them a 50% chance to injure themselves for 50,000. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's just kind of like Confusion in Pokemon, right? And it's dispellable. It's a curse effect. It might not be dispellable. I'm pretty sure it is. Lightning Nova Totem. Places a totem down that emits a pulse of lightning every 3 seconds, inflicting 300,000. So once again, every one of these phases has a Void Zone type effect that you just got to move away from. There's no other mechanics to that. Just move away from it. So 2 interrupts. Take down. I don't know the order of what you'll be taking down, but it depends if you want to be handling a couple of interrupts, or if you want to take down the Warbear in order to have the Beast Shaman appear, because maybe the Beast Shaman will cast Chain Lightning when he's on the bear and you can't target him, so maybe you'll have to take down the bear first. Beast Shaman appears, then you got 2 interrupts to take care of, as well as moving away from the totem and dispelling the Hex of Confusion. Phase 5, the Zandalari. Dynamancers jump down from the arena periodically. Okay, so they're not going to be appearing the whole time. They will appear periodically. Dynamending. The Dynamancer channels a beam of healing energy at Horridon. Healing. Oh, shit. Okay, so you got to interrupt this. You got to make sure you do, because you're going through all these phases only for one of these mobs to heal the boss, and that's not good. So obviously you will be fighting the boss at the same time as these ads. That is confirmed. Dino format, 50% health, the Dynamancer transforms into a powerful Devil Saw, increasing physical damage dealt by 50%, but preventing the Dynamancer from casting Dino Mending. Okay, so when you damage them enough, they will transform, no longer interrupt, and they'll do more damage. Orb of Control, so the Dynamancer will drop an orb. Player can interact with the orb to temporarily dominate Horridon's mind. Ooh, interesting. Forcing the beast to charge into a tribal door. Destroying a tribal door prevents additional members of that tribe from entering. How does that work? Because if you're going to be waiting for this phase to happen, how are you supposed to interrupt the other phases? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Destroying a tribal door. Okay, so you got to obviously destroy the doors, but you can only do it in this phase. I don't know how that works. Maybe they summon all the ads at once. I have no idea. Headache. Charging into a tribal door gives Horridon terrible headache, stunning him. Okay, so obviously you want him to go into the door. Crack Shell. Horridon's shell cracks after ramming into a door, increasing damage taken by 50%. Okay, so essentially it's like that boss in the Trial of the Crusader, the big Yeti dude, who hits a wall when he charges and then gets stunned and takes more damage. That is exactly the mechanic here. War God Jalak. After 4 tribes have been called, or when Horridon has been damaged to 30% health. Okay, so obviously you can choose to take down all the ads, all these waves of ads, or you can damage Horridon down to a certain amount of health and then take him down. Bestial Cry. He unleashes a savage cry, inflicting 100,000 physical damage to all players, increasing damage dealt by War God Jalak by 25%. Okay, so obviously you're going to get a big mini boss ad when you've taken down, when you've either taken it down to 30% or all the ads have been killed. And yeah, he does an AoE cry that is deadly. Okay, so I think you can avoid that. I don't really understand how you're supposed to, but whatever. I guess it's just like a soft enrage. This effect stacks. War God Jalak's death causes Horridon to go on a rampage, increases damage dealt by 100%. Maybe that's a hard enrage? I can't really tell, because I don't know if that, like, maybe you have to take him down at the same time. I can only speculate at this stage, But this is going to be a pretty long fight where you're going to take down a lot of ads. Overall, it looks pretty complicated, but after reading through all the abilities, all of these phases are roughly the same with little differences. So not entirely complicated, just difficult when you first have a gander at it. After you've had a few attempts, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. So apart from that, like, let's just recap real quick, alright? Tank swaps throughout this whole fight. I think it's a 1.5 minute cast time. So every time the boss charges at you, you got to move away from the front of him. First phase is going to be stuns. It's going to be dispellable magic effects, and there's going to be void zones. Second phase is going to be bleed effects that you can't avoid. It's going to be stacking venom that you can dispel, and of course get away from the poison void zones. Third phase, you can dispel a disease effect. There's going to be fixates and mortal strikes that you have to heal through, and of course get away from the floating orbs. Fourth phase, you got to interrupt the fireballs. You may have to take down the warbears first, and also if you get hit by a warbear, then get away from it. Chain lightning, interrupt, has confusion, dispel, and get away from the totem. The fifth phase, I can't really remember if it's the fourth or fifth. The Zandalari phase is you have to interrupt the dino mendings. When they get down to a certain amount of health, they will transform, in which case they will put down an orb that you need to click in order to get the boss to do a charge at the door in order to stop ads flowing in. That will also stun the boss and make him take more damage. Then at 30%, or when all the ads have been killed, a mini boss will come up, in which case you just have to survive, I think. There's no other mechanics there. So that's all. Stick around for more PTR coverage, more guides coming pretty soon. I will do the next boss probably today, and I'll put up the video, today, tomorrow. So subscribe if you want to, and have a good one, guys. See ya.